Let's talk about artificial intelligence, AI. It feels like it's suddenly everywhere, especially in our schools. And for students, parents, and teachers, it's kicking up some pretty big questions. So, in this explainer, we're going to dive into how we can navigate this new tech and hopefully turn what feels like a challenge into a really powerful opportunity. So, this is the big question, isn't it? Is AI just a high tech cheat code for getting homework done, or is it the classroom tool of the future? On one side, you've got the fear that it's just a shortcut to plagiarism. But on the other, there's all this excitement that it could unlock a whole new way of learning. We're going to explore how both can be true and, more importantly, how we can find the right path forward. Because, look, whether we're ready for it or not, AI is the new reality in the classroom. Sticking our heads in the sand isn't an option. What we really need is a game plan, a guide to navigate both the incredible promises and the very real pitfalls.
And this slide really gets to the heart of it. The promise is huge. I mean, AI can act like a personal tutor for every student, a lightning-fast research assistant, and a training ground for the jobs of tomorrow. But the peril is just as real. We could see students becoming way too reliant on it, a digital divide that leaves some kids behind, and teachers feeling totally overwhelmed. It's a classic double-edged sword.
So, how do we get all the good stuff while dodging the bad? Well, the answer is to move past the buzzwords and get to a real solution. We're talking about developing something called AI literacy.
So, what on earth is AI literacy? It really boils down to three key things. First, just getting the basics of how these systems work. Second, learning the rules for using them responsibly. And third, and this might be the most important part, developing the critical thinking skills to question and double-check everything the AI spits out. To really get AI, you have to understand what it isn't. And AI doesn't think the way we do. It's an incredible pattern matcher. It scans billions of data points to predict what word should come next. Humans, on the other hand, we reason with context. We get nuance, we apply judgment. And AI can tell you what, but a literate user always knows to ask why and how. Okay, so that brings us to the practical stuff. If AI is a tool, then we need to build a toolkit of skills to use it the right way. And this isn't about becoming a programmer, it's about becoming a smart, effective user. Using AI smartly really comes down to a simple four-step process. First, you have to ask good questions. The clearer the prompt, the better the result. Second, you have to evaluate everything. AI can be confidently wrong, so you have to play detective. Third, verify your sources. Always go back and check the facts for yourself. And finally, remember its role. AI is an amazing brainstorming partner, a great first draft assistant, but it is never the final answer. You are. So, in a classroom, this looks like using AI to brainstorm ideas for an essay, not write the whole thing for you. It's using it to summarize a dense chapter to see if you understood it, not to skip the reading. It's all about making AI a partner in learning, not a shortcut to get around it. But just knowing how to use AI is only half the battle. We also have to teach students how to think about the ethics of it all. It's not just about getting the right answer, it's about using this powerful tool responsibly. This right here is one of the most critical things to understand about AI. These models are trained on gigantic amounts of text and images scraped from the internet, all stuff made by humans. And that data includes all of our history, including our prejudices and our biases. So that means an AI's answer isn't some magic objective truth. For instance, if you ask an AI to draw a picture of a CEO, and most of the pictures it learned from were of men, it's probably going to show you a man. It's not making a choice, it's just reflecting the patterns it was fed. A smart user knows to look for this and question the result. All right, the next rule is super simple, but absolutely critical: privacy. You have to think of any conversation with a public AI tool as, well, public. Students have to learn to never put in personal information, sensitive details, or anything they wouldn't want the world to see. And finally, we have to talk about responsibility. It's really easy to blame the algorithm, but the person using the tool shares responsibility for what happens next. If a student uses a fake fact from an AI in a report, that's on them. This teaches ownership and basic integrity. So where does all this lead? Well, when you put it all together, the technical know-how, the practical skills, and the ethical awareness, you get to the real goal: preparing our students for a future where working with AI is just part of everyday life. And the payoff for doing this is enormous. This isn't just about preventing cheating. It's about building a generation of students who are better digital citizens, who have stronger critical thinking skills. It's about giving them tools for personalized learning and a massive head start for the careers that are waiting for them.
At the end of the day, this is what it all comes down to. The tool is already here. It's in their hands. The real question isn't if they're going to use it. They are. The real question is, how wisely are we as educators and parents going to teach them to use it?